No injuries, so everybody's healthy going into the summer. Yeah, that's really the biggest thing I worried about, this week was, just very happy with so many things this spring, just making sure that we didn't have anything here at the end that really was a negative. So kids had fun today, okay? I think they would have liked a little more scoring on the offensive side, but I think that's, it shows, when you start splitting things up the way you got split up right there, how much they need each other. But great to have the fans that were here today. That was incredible. The fact that, really we weren't having fans till this time last week, and I kind of invited them, but to have so many show up, that was just so great. And I told the kids that was the biggest thing. They need to make sure that we say thank you to that group for coming back, and just, I look forward to the next time we're in a game situation in Daddy Ficklen Stadium. I think September 11th. Yes. Is that date? September 11th. 1,000 Pirates screaming and yelling in the stadium. So, good ending to the spring. So now get ready for final exams this week, and take a quick break and get ready for summer training.
How much trash talk was there from Warren?
Oh, it was. You could. I'm sure you could tell from the box. So. The officials probably could have penalized that white sideline all day long. But it was all in good fun. Yeah, all in good fun.
The two quarterbacks on the gold side, especially Mason and Stubblefield, looked like they, in the second half, got more comfortable and poised. Did you see them kind of progress as the day went on?
Yeah, it's those two. Mason's had a little bit of game action, but not a lot. And that's the biggest thing when you get out there. That's it's easy to, in practice, you got, Donnie standing right there, you got Shank standing right there, you got Coach Dudzik standing right there, and they're all talking to the kids during practice. But you get out there on that field in the game, and it's all on them. And for some of them, that's their first college game action, like Ryan. And so I really felt like, after they kind of calmed down, did a lot of good things. But that experience, even though it's a spring scrimmage, that experience is so important for those young players.
It seems like a tight-knit group, one of the better ones I've seen in quite a while here.
Well, and that's, when we came in, that's what we said we wanted to create, because I think that is the key to success, is having unity, caring for each other, that camaraderie, that brotherhood, that is critical to winning teams, winning programs. And so we've worked very, very hard to try to create that, and the kids have just done a great job of just embracing that culture and really trying to cultivate that culture inside the locker room.
What happens this week with the meal now? The Purple guys have to serve the meal?
So
they can eat beanie weenies?
Monday night, 5:30, we're having dinner in the tower, and the Purple team will assist in serving the Gold team. It's a winner's dinner.
What's on the menu then?
Steak, shrimp, all the sides, and some kind of dessert.
So we're invited?
Well, I don't know. You have to ask the kids.
Okay.
When you look back at this spring, the work that your team did, what's your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway is probably just the improvement top to bottom in the roster, and it's just we were talking earlier this week. The fronts, the size and the ability of the fronts finally fits in with the AAC. The stand-up skill positions, the speed that we have there, obviously is vastly improved, and so that's one takeaway. Second takeaway is probably just that we've got to make sure that we protect ourselves against the things that can keep us from having the kind of year we have a chance to have. We've got to make sure that all those guys who are on that field, that they're on the field when it comes September 2nd down in Charlotte. Can't do anything that takes that eligibility away from us, takes that opportunity away from us. Got to make sure that we, address being able to function, with the COVID virus. Whether that's we're all fully vaccinated, or we, can maintain COVID protocols strictly throughout the summer and the fall. It's going to be an issue if we don't have an answer for it. And so those are probably the two biggest.
Coach, to see King get in the end zone a couple times, being a walk-on, how special is that?
I'll tell you, he's had a great spring. We were talking about him this week because it wasn't just today. He has legitimately had a solid, very impressive spring. If you'd asked me a year ago if he would be out there doing that, I probably would have said no. because just, you know, he was not, you know, that what you saw today. He was not that when he first got here, but a lot of freshmen aren't, okay? He has worked so hard and has developed himself, and he can run now. But just his consistency catching the football has been the biggest improvement on him this spring. So I'm excited to see him this summer, and hopefully, you know, he can translate that into making the travel roster this fall.
I noticed some of the corners today, like Tucker, Chalmers, they were matched up against some of your top guys. And aside from that one long pass, I mean, those guys provide depth. And what did you think of your corners kind of overall today?
Well, I really like that room. And, you know, you look at it was not exactly a strong suit 2 years ago. But now you got Jaquan and Malik and Nolan and DeMel, which are, you know, kind of proven commodities. Have played a lot of snaps for us and done so very, very well. And they're all still fairly young. And then you Sean Tucker, Chalmers, Crump, you know, those guys have gotten so much valuable experience this spring. So you finally have some depth in that room. But very pleased with, you know, Coach Steve Ellis. I think the world of. He is a fantastic position coach, and he's done a great job with that group. Not just this spring, but ever since he's gotten here.
Look like y'all are moving Xavier around a little bit, like rush
Yeah.
end. Is that something he's maybe trying to expand in his game?
Well, you know, it's one, didn't want him getting a ton of snaps today. Coming off from off-season injury. He's back healthy now. Wanted to get some action, but not a lot. And it's something we've toyed with the past week or so, just with the depth we have in the linebacker room. So I think with some of Coach Harrell's exotics that he has, you could see a lot of those guys on the field together.
Splitting up so many different guys, and
Yeah.
I guess the offensive line in particular, so used to going maybe
Yeah.
the first team with so many of their same guys. How do you think they maybe handle that, watching a lot?
They probably appreciate each other a lot more because you know, you know, all spring and particularly the last week or so, the offensive front has really started to come together and play very, very well. But now you split, you got 2 of them on one side and 3 of them on the other. They probably appreciate you know, all 5 of them being together after that.
All delays you know, aside and everything, how would you kind of depict this overall spring camp a little bit?
Solid. I mean, not the best it could have been, because I think that if we hadn't had the delay, I think we could have had a better spring. But certainly it's drastically improved from what it was in 2019.
Kind of big picture going on that. What's maybe next as far as the summer? What do you think that really the focus needs to be for this team to get to where it needs in August?
Well, the next is the training this summer. The big focus this winter has been trying to get bigger and stronger. We've got to get in shape. You know, so Coach Big John, he'll start here mid-May. We'll have some additions joining us. A few in mid-May and a few there at the beginning of June. So by the beginning of June, we should have pretty close to our full roster for the fall here training throughout the summer. But you know, it's that training. It's getting as big and as fast and as strong as we can before fall camp. It's continuing to mesh cohesively. You know, all phases, all people, and so you know, that starts here in mid-May.
Do you think that was kind of established in all the spring with the guys you mentioned having fun? And it seems like they like to be with each other. Is that kind of where you're at? It's a good starting point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's what we tried to, you know, create when we got here. And it, you know, I remember the first time I stood in this room, and I've talked about it a lot. Just the atmosphere was just so beat down, and it was so negative. Well, it's not that anymore. But you know, really, it was last year in the fall. You know, all the adversity that we had to go through with playing a football season during a pandemic, and it's kind of just us. I mean, you know, you guys weren't here, fans weren't here. You know, at least not many, a few, but it was just going through that together. I think really brought this group together, and they, you know, they have fun. They work hard. They compete. They have fun. Anything else? Okay, thanks a lot.
Coach.